Yeah.
All right, what else we got?
All right. So moving on, man. So that was I just want to say that was kind of a fun topic there. But moving on.
Very fun topic.
Yeah. A little more. Yeah, I'm gonna skip this one. We'll save this one for another day. So guns. In light of a lot of recent events, man, with the whole Asian discrimination situation going on, the events, shooting that took place over in Colorado, I believe it was, which I don't know if you guys saw the video of that, but it was really it was kind of like, God damn, dude. Guns are something, that come up a lot. We hear about them every day and everything like that, right? And so I just and I think we've kind of touched on guns a little bit here before, but to get a little deeper dive and
we touched on the inability of you to get one. That's what we touched on, I think.
We did, yeah.
Right?
Like, this is bullshit.
I think that's the only time we've ever touched on it.
Yeah. I still haven't purchased one.
Okay.
I will soon. Anyway, but you hear all of this, and so the thing that you kind of get all the time is like, I think what's pushed down is that guns are bad, right? And so I kind of wanted to throw some things around and see where everybody sits at. I know we have a couple gun owners here. I think I'm probably the only one that doesn't own a gun, if I'm not mistaken. But so with that said, I think we are all kind of advocates for it, though. Like I don't have any issues with them in a sense of personally owning one, right? But I think what's thrown around is a lot of times with that. Guns are the reason that people are shooting people, or guns are they're what is responsible for it, and so much. And I kind of want to open the table up here to hear your perspectives on it, how you feel about guns in general. Do you own one? I've kind of already answered that question, but we've talked about that a little bit. And I guess since you guys all do own one, I'd like to understand the reason for it, and let's just take it from there and see where we go. I don't know. James, you want to jump it off?
Yeah, I'll jump it off because probably the least experienced. But
Yeah.
no, here's the thing I will say about guns. There's a lot of people who are pro-gun and people who are not. But I will say that once you understand, first of all, what the gun is and what it can be, and I'm not talking about the power. I'm talking about the aspects of a gun. I'm talking about your right to have one. I'm talking about the way you can protect yourself. I'm talking about the responsibility of a gun owner. That weighs heavy. So a lot of people that I know who have guns, responsibility is so high on that list that you can't always point at like some of these bad cases as they got a hold of a gun, because I know a lot of responsible gun owners. So if you're so far on that end, I will say that you kind of need to hear and figure out what it is. The other thing is understanding what a gun is. It's a very dangerous thing. It's a weird experience the first time you shoot a gun, because at that point you realize just how dangerous this gun is. And I feel like the thing we have in this country, and I will say I do own a rifle. And the reason, to answer your question, the reason I do own a rifle is, one, because I like it. First of all, I like the idea of sport with it. I love the idea of having it as protection. But I'm definitely like, there are certain people who shouldn't own guns, right? So I'm not like I think there's restrictions that should happen. But I don't know where I was going with that. But I will say that I am pro-gun. I do want to throw one thing else out there as this topic moves around the table, though. Addison actually, he posted like this little chart where it had shooters, like the last 12 shooters, right? Unarmed, killed, armed, arrested, peacefully, all this shit, right? And I will say that the only thing not the only thing, but one of the things I make sense of that as is that's your protection against injustice. That's your protection against danger. That's what it's for, right?
Well,
so when a cop is approaching an armed suspect, they're not as powerful as they want to be, because fear kicks into them as well, right? So what I will say is that you can look at that in multiple different ways, but I will say that having your protection as a personal item is actually something that benefits you on a personal level that you can't really explain to the next person until it's sitting in your hand and it's yours.
Yeah. I just wanted to say what Addison posted was you had a white dude that was a shooter arrested, unarmed black person killed, another white dude was shooter arrested, another one unarmed killed. I just want to highlight that real quick.
Yeah, but I don't think the Colorado shooter was white.
I don't know what he was.
I don't think he was white. I don't know if you guys know.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think he was like Caucasian white. I believe he was of lighter skin, but yeah,
me.
not
yeah, no, I don't fucking know.
yeah, not like in the sense of I think he was. I don't remember exactly where he was from.
Right. I was only referring to the one post, right? But James, to your point, the reason that the one of the rights here in America is to have a gun is to balance out the government, right? So that the government doesn't gain too much power initially, right? Because at the time, the guns were as heavy as you got. I mean, today we can all be armed with guns, and the government, like the military, would really make a difference, right? Like the fucking airplanes and shit, like
Drones.
Fucking my god, yeah, you didn't even need to just fucking fly it remotely and blow you up. Didn't matter. But that was the reason, right? One of the things I wanted to just throw out there was I believe it's the Colt, the guy, whatever his first name is, the Colt guy. So God created man, and then, or that's the quote, right? God created man, but whoever, or Smith and Wesson or Colt or whoever it was, made him equal. You know what I mean? And I think that's the vibe behind it, right? We said if a cop walked up, I'm armed, you're armed, and it just sucks to say a cop. Let's not say a cop, right? Let's just say a man and another man walk up. They both have guns. It's a fair fight now, you know, if that's where it was going to go. Ideally, you wouldn't want to see that with a cop. I don't think. Right? Like, I think the thought behind police is that they're there to uphold the law. They're there as a benefit to you. And I think media plays a huge role in how the perspective comes out about that, right? Like in a large aspect. I think there's a lot of, you wouldn't hear about a cop that didn't shoot someone and shit could have gone wrong and they handled it right. You wouldn't hear anything about that, right? You never hear about it. You only hear about, because there's no one's going to follow it. You're only going to hear about the negativity that comes from something, you know, that went wrong. And so I understand that too. But with all of that said, I don't blame guns. I don't think the gun was the reason for it. It was poor judgment or whoever, whatever from there. But I'll let you guys jump in.
I think I don't think it's, obviously the gun can't kill somebody. You need somebody to pull that trigger. And I think what that is hate. I think hate is what drives this, right? All these factors, racism, everything else is what drives these things. And it ultimately, you know, is hate that comes out. So you hate somebody or you hate something so much that you feel the need to use a gun to express your hate, right? Personally, I do own a gun. I got my gun strictly for home security, right? I think
John Wick right here.
Yeah, for me, like
Castle, dude.
For me,
Castle.
when I lived in my house, because I'm homeless now. When I lived in my house, you know,
he lives on top of a mountain of cash, not necessarily inside of it.
Yeah,
more on
the
top.
Scrooge
of it.
McDuck just diving in and shit.
No,
you can't get shelter on top. You got to get.
I am homeless. I can't buy a home. No, but so I initially got it because I had my son. We had my son, and my wife was like, "It's time for him to go to his room and sleep in his crib." And I'm like, "No, he's not sleeping in his crib until I get a gun and I can protect my home." So that's exactly why I got a gun, just to protect my home. I don't like other than taking it out to go shoot somewhere. That gun does not come out of my house for anything, right? I think
that would be illegal.
Yeah. Well, not necessarily.
Well, as long as you break it down and you put guns
exactly.
put the bullets in the fucking trunk and the fucking...
You put your little Glock between your gun after you cleared it and everything. No, but I think it's okay. I think you need it for home protection. I think.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with you. Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not against, assault rifles, but I do question sometimes, like, how much do we need an assault rifle? Do you need it for home protection? Because if I got it for home protection, that bullet's going through my house into my neighbor's house, and now I got other problems, right?
Maybe.
So
unless you hit what you're shooting at.
Yeah.
He's just spraying and praying.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, well, shotguns are 100% like, those are like the ones, you could be 18 to get a shotgun, but shotgun
Yeah.
spray big as fuck, right?
Yeah.
So I'm a terrible shot. I don't need to be a good shot. But I can shoot at someone standing next to you. So, but you know.
Everybody thinks they're Clint Eastwood when it comes down, but I don't know. I've never been in that, position where somebody comes into my home. I hope never to be, but hey, you don't know how you're going to react to that. And you could train as much as you want. And then when it happens, like you have people who have trained, in the military, and when they see something happen, they also freeze. It's happened plenty of times.
Sure.
So,
It's a big deal to
Yeah.
take someone's life, right?
Yeah.
Like it's not something that just goes away overnight. It's a big deal. So now, drum roll, the man I've been waiting to hear from.
Whew. All right, lots to unpack. So I'm very pro gun, and let's just say that I have a gun and I don't only use it for home protection. So it goes with me, right?
Legally.
So I'll say that. Okay, so let's start with the guns themselves, right? So guns, yes, they're inherently dangerous only in the hands of people. If a gun's sitting here on a table, loaded, cocked, ready to fire, and no one's got a hand on it, it's not dangerous, right? It's a tool, it's an instrument, it is what it is. It's not going to do anything unpredictable unless someone picks it up and pulls the trigger, right? So that's a clear distinction that I feel needs to be made, because there's this inherent, or not inherent, but there's this like air of like, oh, they're dangerous on their own, and that's not the case, right? A gun sitting on a table is not going to do anything on its own. It requires a person with whatever the intention is to do with that gun what they will, right? So that takes the blame off of the gun, as it should be, and puts it on the people, right? And you touched on responsible gun owners, and I'd like to think of myself as one, right? I'm not carrying right now because I'm drinking. That's like a big part of being a responsible gun owner. You're not going to introduce those two things, because that just leads to disaster, right? So that's very important, and that goes beyond just alcohol, but how you carry it, if you carry, how you store it, like keep it out of reach of children, keep it out of the reach of, if someone were to break into your house when you're not home, that gun that you have for home defense, if they get a hold of it and then now they take it out on the street and do whatever they will with it, the liability can be on you. So there's a lot that goes into it, but the responsibility falls on the individual who owns it. And I feel like there's not enough importance placed on that in the media. It's always blamed on the guns. And specifically, and the one that's in the news now is the AR-15. Everyone thinks that AR-15 is an assault rifle, which it is not. It's the AR does not stand for assault rifle,
No.
right? And so the reason why they are used in so many shootings is because they are so effective. And that's the opposite end. That's the downside of it. They're very useful and very practical and very easy to shoot, and that's why they're so good for home defense, and that's why they shouldn't be banned. They should be used for home defense. And to your point, that bullet, that 5.56 round, will go through a person and then through a wall and then into your neighbors. But there's different ammunition that you can buy specifically for home defense.
I will say,
223?
I do love the feel of an AR when you shoot it.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
And so again, and same with handguns, and that's why shotguns are so good. You're right. The spread on a shotgun blast is wide, but the pellets aren't going to go through the neighbor's wall and then hit the neighbor. They're meant for home defense, for short range, and they are the most effective when it comes to home defense.
Oh yeah, you don't have to really.
No,
you don't have to be a
aim that
marksman.
well.
Yeah,
definitely, and that's why they're so effective. So that's my first point. Is just the guns aren't inherently dangerous. It's the people that's behind them, and that's not to say that that they're being misused, because they are. They're being abused, but it's by people who either have mental health, which is the biggest issue, I think, and that goes beyond guns, but that's a big issue. And bad intentions and the hatred that you spoke of, like that. Those are the types of people that you want to keep the guns out of. The problem is, how do you do it, right? Because how do you do it in a way that doesn't infringe on the rights and limit other responsible gun owners? Because like we talked about on the media, you hear about that only the negative things, but 99.999% of gun owners are responsible gun owners.
And I will say, like, the media does a great job at making you feel like you should. Like, because I did say, like, at times I wonder, like, do we really need this?
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, me, I want to stock up myself
Yeah.
for my home protection because
Right, for sure.
at the same time, I have a Glock, right?
Yeah.
But I think, okay, what if somebody comes in here with an AR, right?
Mhm.
Now
Oh.
I'm outgunned
Right.
by far,
Not,
right?
not necessarily.
Yeah.
I get what you're saying.
yeah.
I hear your point.
You got a better chance, but I mean,
Mhm.
you are outnumbered.
Well, yeah, like they have a more powerful round, right? But however, I think too, like if this guy's never shot a gun, just
I'm
picked
not a
it up and
marksman, for
rocked
sure.
in
I'm
the
not a
house.
marksman.
Doesn't know the
Then-
layout of your house.
Yeah, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, yeah, yeah, sure. But I get what your point. But I think what you guys are kind of touching on is my thought is how many people actually own guns, especially in America, versus how many people actually go out and use them maliciously, right? I think a good portion, I don't know the exact statistics, right? But a good portion of people in this country own guns.
Mhm.
How nowhere near that many people are actually involved in malicious shootings, right?
Mhm.
And especially we wouldn't hear about them the way we do if they were, right? It'd be commonplace. It'd be normal. It'd be normalized. You wouldn't hear about it. No one hears like, hey, the military, they broke, altercation and 2 people died. No, it doesn't matter because you expect that, right? It's what's expected.
Right, but there's also always going to be a statistic.
Mhm.
Now,
Well, you're right.
when I say like we work in the warehouse industry,
Mhm.
right, in some regard.
Supply chain.
Well, I've worked in the warehouse industry, right, where safety department has come in
Mhm.
and said, hey, 90% of the forklift accidents are happening in your department.
Mm.
And I'm
Well,
like,
this is the only
yeah, I'm like,
fucking
no
department.
shit,
No, it should be
dummy.
100%.
Yeah, yeah.
What the fuck?
Like,
yeah.
no shit.
Yeah.
Because 95% of the forklift activity is us.
Mhm.
So that statistic makes
Right.
sense. Now, to Travis's point, how do you manage that? The thing is, even if you had some kind of magical tool
Mhm.
that said, no, James has mental health issues, can't have a gun,
Mm.
and you screened all those people out, you're still going to have a statistic of gun misuse,
Mhm.
gun getting in the wrong hands.
Yeah.
So there's always going to be a number, and what's going to happen is like we said earlier, the media turns it
It's gonna
to
focus.
to focus on that specific thing. So you can take all the mental health out of the equation. There's always going to be, because it is a very dangerous thing,
Mm.
there's always going to be some death that is associated with a gun.
And also, just real quick, I don't know the specific statistic, but the majority of gun related deaths and injuries are from negligent just discharges and mishandling.
Yeah.
So
Right.
that's the majority of it, is like people not paying attention, and shooting themselves in the leg.
Oh, right. And I would say, look,
Cheddar ball.
okay, here's the reality of it, right? Like shit like that, when you introduce a weapon like that, you're going to have some misuse and things like that. It's
Yeah.
the same as a car. People are going to crash, whatever it is. People
Right.
play football, you get fucking injured, right? We understand that there is some risk there.
Mm.
And I think the takeaway that I've heard today, the main point is responsibility, right?
Mm.
Understanding when you handle a gun, no,
100%.
you never treat it like it's unloaded, ever,
No.
period.
Yeah.
Fucking ever.
Mhm.
I've been in a situation once when I was at someone's house and they're holding a gun and they're kind of pointing around at people. And me, my father had guns, so he told me, and so I was like, no, don't do that. I was like, I didn't even see you check and see if it's clear. And he's like, oh, I know this gun's been sitting here, whatever. Fucking, so I'm like, oh, well, fucking, show me it's clear. Bullet pops out.
Mm.
Like, yeah, dude, do you understand? Like,
could have been.
and then handling it like you think it is empty. That's first rule you're gonna learn is you never handle it like it's empty.
No.
So you understand
Treat
this
all
person
guns as if
has
they're loaded.
no knowledge of guns, nothing like that, and that's how things happen, right?
Right.
And then you have the people that do know guns, know them well, and then just have. I understand, like we want to say mental. We touched on a couple things. We said mental illness. We talked about hate. Something I think is something to be brought up is fear. I think a lot of times people are scared.
Yeah.
If I'm scared of you already, let's say I'm some small chick and I see 4 big guys walking up on me. I'm scared already. I have this gun in my purse. I'm a lot more likely to you walk up too much or you say something, I'm like, hey, back the fuck up, right? And then you add that with I'm not trained on it, things can happen,
Yeah,
right?
100%.
So we understand that.
Mm-hmm.
But I still say guns aren't the ones that are killing people necessarily. It's the person behind it, to Travis's point, that's pulling the trigger, that's doing these things. Very rarely does the gun just fall off, and then it can happen, right? Like someone bumps the table, falls, and shoots them. But those are fucking huge.
And most modern guns, like the Glock specifically, has 5 different safeties on it.
Yeah.
Even though it doesn't have like a thumb safety, there is an internal safety that they even call a drop safety. So it won't fire if you drop it on the ground.
Or they have on the handle, on the grip safeties and all of that. Yeah.
So
there's a lot of things, and I mean, obviously, and then we touch on like assault rifles versus all of that, and I'm aware that AR-15 doesn't stand for assault rifle, right? But I mean, I would say it's an assault rifle. I mean, in the sense of, you know what I mean, like.
Well, it depends on what you use it for. If I hit you with this glass, it's now an assault glass.
I get what you're saying, right?
Yeah.
In that case, any gun is an assault gun, right? Any gun. So, but I guess the way that I'm looking at it is like there's no an AR-15 is not used to hunt with. You know what I mean? You're not doing anything with it. Maybe if you're like a marksman, this is actually a very popular gun for shooting competitions and things of that nature, right? But aside from that environment, it's really only used for that kind of thing, right? Like with guns, I mean, handguns really, like a Glock's not really used to hunt with either. You know what I mean? No, right? So I mean, kind of same vibe.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess, but like, what are you hunting with a Glock? You know what I mean?
You're
like,
real stealthy. I will just say though,
sneak up on a deer.
I will just say
John
too
Wick
though,
it.
like Travis, and I think everybody at this table pro gun, but I'll just say this: on the opposite end of the spectrum, I wouldn't want to live in a gun free America either.
No,
I wouldn't. There's I think certain like liberties that we have that should be exercised, and I think guns are one of those liberties.
Yeah, a lot of people like to point to like Australia or these other countries that don't have.
I think Europe
that don't have like these gun issues, but that's the difference. In an ideal world, if you were able to snap your fingers and every single gun in America was gone, then okay, you know, now we have something to talk about. But obviously that's not realistic. That's not going to ever happen. And no matter what you do or try to do in America, the criminals are always going to get a way to get a hold of these guns. And the problem is when you start making all these laws to try and limit access to guns, the only people that are going to be affected by these laws are the people that obey the laws. So now you're taking guns out of responsible law-abiding citizens' hands, and the only people that have it now are the criminals who are just going to continue to do what they've been doing
and not be trained on it. And
exactly, and
like
also
that,
and that's another point too. Your example of like the female with the gun and 4 people walking up, and she pulls it out and it goes off on accident. I feel like that's not stressed enough. Training is the biggest part of being a responsible gun owner. You shouldn't just go buy a gun and then like keep it in the closet or even carry it and never do any kind of training with it. And because like you said to your point earlier, as soon as stress is induced, all logical reason goes out the window, and you're only relying on instinct. And unless you train that into yourself, you're not going to know how to handle it when it happens. So I feel like training is a big part of being a responsible gun owner, and it's not stressed enough. So
I want to say this too. Like I said, my dad has is a gun owner, and he always says, you know, like I sincerely hope I never ever have to use this. I have to use it. Like that's the thought. Like I hope I never have to use it.
Yeah.
I want to train with it, and it's recreational and things like that, but I don't ever want to have to use it.
Right.
And I think that should be the mind state.
Absolutely.
Right? Like I don't want
You're not looking for
I don't want to murder anyone, right? Like I'm not going out. Like I see people post shit on Instagram all the time. Like I wish somebody would, and I'm like, you have the wrong mentality already.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like I hope no one ever does.
Yeah, 100%.
That should be the vibe, I think.
But you should also be prepared in the event that.
Well, right. I don't think I'm not going to fault you for understanding though the world that we live in, right?
Yeah.
Like then that's the reality. And I think where we live, it's probably less of a reality, right? But at the same time, I could be walking in a fucking grocery store and someone's doing some shit. And if anything, I'd like to be in a position where I know that's happening. and I can stop that guy from doing that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And maybe I have to make that decision there. Do I want to? Do I just hide? Do whatever? I'd rather be in a position where I could if I wanted to.
Yeah,
Or maybe save somebody else's life.
There's a thing that some of the training that I've been through, it's like sometimes, you know, there's sheep, which are the majority of people. And this is just an example. I'm not saying like people are sheep or whatever, because that's a cliche. But in this example, he's like, there's sheep that are the normal everyday people that are going about their lives unaware, texting on their phones while they're walking, not being aware of their surroundings. Then there's the wolves that prey on the sheep, right? They're the ones that are looking out for an opportunity to take advantage of someone. Then there are the lions, who are the protectors. And, you know, sometimes in those situations, the lions intervene. But also sometimes wolves got to eat, and you got to know when to stay out of it. If I'm carrying and I see two drunk guys outside of a bar fighting each other, I'm not going to get involved or interject myself or introduce a gun into the situation, right? Because no matter where I go, if I'm carrying, now there's a gun. And if I pull it and I get knocked out or knocked down, now that other person has it. And so sometimes like the wolves got to eat, you know, but then there are those times where, you know, you have to kind of step in and, you know, make that call. But it's all a matter of judgment, and it all goes back to like training and being a responsible gun opener. So
Right. I think the overlying theme there is just obviously understanding what you have and the power that possesses.
Right. With great power comes great responsibility.
Let's go buy a gun.
Yeah.
Shout out
going tomorrow.
I'm working on some things to get it done.
That was Uncle Ben.
Yeah, Uncle Ben.
Uncle Ben.
Mm-hmm. Shout out Uncle Ben.
Shout out Uncle Ben on that one.
John
Great
Witherspoon,
rice.
right? Like
Great rice.
He got shot.
Hey, John Witherspoon.
Irony.
Uncle Ben got shot.
Uncle
Oh,
Ben.
you talking about Spider-Man? No, I'm talking about John Witherspoon Friday, dude. You know, like take this. Kids don't know nothing. You fight with these, but you live to fight another day. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Win some,
I thought you were
lose some.
reenacting the dog scene. Well, you get dog. You bang, bang, bang.
Choke him. Yeah, but yeah, no, you know, and I sincerely think, man, you know, if you don't, anyway, man, in our world now, everything is so agenda based, right? Like there's literally fucking pro and anti groups that's all they do, right? So if I'm align myself with this network and I'm anti-gun, then that's the vibe that they're gonna, you know, we have whatever we have going on. They're gonna push what I'm telling them. I'm feeding them this, and oh yeah, sell them the guns. And the reality of that is, I think us as a society, we lose out on understanding what really is going on, right? What's the bigger picture? Were people not trained, or is it a mental health issue? Should we be exercising more resources to help with that? Things like that. And I was reading something today anyway about like the news, and I just think it really only hurts us. You know what I mean? To be so agenda based and all of that, and kind of always kind of these partisan groups. I think it hurts us as a society because we're not being informed adequately, right? Or even if you are getting information, you're getting it in such a biased manner that like it's not helpful to you. And I think anyway, fuck it, the responsibility should fall on the consumer of that information to really kind of dive in and reach out and look into it. But something I'll say is like the Las Vegas shooting, which was. I think there's so many things that went wrong in that situation, right? Like the guys just fucking stocked up, just bringing all these guns in, and no one fucking seems to say anything, you know? And Nevada's gun laws are like real relaxed too. Like, yeah, you want a rail gun? Fuck it, dude, go for it. Fucking let that motherfucker off. 10,000 rounds a minute. Who cares? That's a little much, you know what I mean? But also you can look at where they live. It's a fucking desert in the middle of nowhere. You know what I mean? You kind of do that kind of thing. But I just think, you know, you got to kind of look into things and really kind of peel the onion, you know what I mean? Kind of see something. I think we're looking at 4 people here who are all pro-gun, and I don't think one of us have a malicious intent at all. Even if I had the worst fucked up day,
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like there's no part of me that would be like, gonna go out and, you know what I mean, at all. Like I value human life way too much to do something like that. And I think all of us, even one of the things I think we've discussed is even if someone broke into my house, I think I'd be like, can you please leave? Just go. I don't want to do this, dude. Can you just fucking walk out, you know?
You're nice.
Yeah, I don't think my first thought is like I'm gonna murder him.
No.
I'd want to protect myself and my people in my house or whatever. Absolutely.
Yeah.
But do I look at it in the long run of like having to live with the fact that like I know I killed somebody. You know what I mean? And I don't know how that would feel. I've never done it, and I'd rather live life without ever having done so. It's like the movie we watch.
Yeah.
I don't think it would be please leave my house.
Yeah.
I think it would be a little bit more. Like,
I think it might. Yeah, I don't think I'd literally be like, no. I think
excuse
it'd
me,
be.
sir. I think you've entered my home today.
I think I'd be a
You're
real
not
asshole.
welcomed here.
Sir, do you know you don't live here? This is my
Are
residence.
you lost?
Are you drunk?
Yeah.
But imagine like some drunk dude accidentally opened the wrong door, stumbled in, you forgot to lock it, stumbled in, he's just trashed, and you just blow his fucking head off. I'd feel pretty shitty about it later. Like I've been drunk before. I'd feel pretty bad about it. And
That's where the training comes in.
well, right.
You assess the situation.
I like,
Right.
yeah.
You have to do that.
We have a home plan, right? If some shit goes down, like there's a specific room, there's a route that we take, there's a thing that we do, there's a code word. You know what I mean? Like that's all part of being a responsible gun owner, though, and
I like
and that's to minimize that sort of thing from happening. Not to say that it can't happen, but and then again, also it comes down to the person, and you have to make that judgment call in that split second, and sometimes you're going to make that call wrong. But for me, like, I'd rather err on the side of caution. I don't want to give that person a chance to run at me.
Yeah, pull something themselves.
Yeah, and then also too, like, it depends on the situation. If they're in and they have a gun, I'm not asking.
Well, yeah, no, I understand.
But if they come in and they don't have anything in their hands, or if they have like a bat or a knife and I have distance, and I know that they're not gonna like close in on me too quick, then yeah, you can issue that verbal warning first. But it just all depends on the
I
situation.
feel like we're going through legal formalities.
No. I'm just saying.
You
like,
issue a verbal warning.
To Travis's point about having a plan, like I had something similar at my house before I was homeless. But no, so I had one time when my alarm went off. Early morning, just went off, and on the alarm it'll tell you what went off, what area. So it said my son's room window, and so I
John Wicked it.
I fucking jumped out of my bed, got my gun out, and my wife got up at the same time because it was loud, and I'm like, go get our son, go get him. And she's like, what? I'm like, remember the plan.
Yeah.
I'm getting the gun, you're getting the kid. Go.
So hold on a minute.
You gotta
So
rehearse.
I got to break this down a little bit, and please correct me if I'm mistaken. Alarm's going off, son's room. You say, hey, I'll go grab the gun. You go into the room.
Son wasn't in the room.
So right?
Okay.
The way I had it set up, I never updated the names of my sensors.
Got you.
So it was saying my son's room, but it wasn't. It was like the very first room. So my
Okay.
son was in the middle room at the time, right? So I was like, go, or was it my daughter? I don't remember now.
It was your daughter.
It was my daughter. Yeah.
It was because the son was sleeping in their room.
Yeah, he's sleeping in our room.
He told her to go grab the daughter while he went to go clear the room.
Yeah.
John
so
Wick
then,
it.
Okay.
So then she
Totally.
didn't do it like I said. So I had to get the gun, and then I had to go and clear the room that was going off. And come to say, there was a spider that was just building a ship like a spider web, and I guess it knocked the sensor or something, and that's what set it off. But dude, my to the point of ever feeling something, like my heart was beating like as fast as I could.
I'd have shot the spider.
I would have came.
Yeah. So I'm just walking
I'm not
around
saying
my
you did
house.
it. I'm just saying.
I'm just walking around my house with the gun, like checking everything.
Yeah.
I don't have my hand on the trigger or nothing like that.
No.
But like, I'm like
too
making
vulgar.
sure she's got the kids now, and it's like
was uncalled
we had a
for.
plan of like going to the bedroom because our room was like the very last one, right? To be there. But yeah, so it's just you never know.
I respect that. I'll say this. For a while, like I lived with my dad, right? And there was
For
some
a while?
times.
Most of your life.
Most of my life, yes, but no, there was a period of time as me as an adult, like I was staying with my dad, right? I don't know if you guys noticed, but I actually went through a divorce, and I was like, "You can have everything." So
What?
I moved with my
What?
dad for a little bit.
You got divorced?
I was homeless too for a while. You know
Next
what I mean?
episode, we'll get into that.
Yeah, no, we won't. But anyway, but I would like sometimes like I'd be pretty trashed, and I'd come home, and I remember like alarms, and you guys do your thing, and I'd come in and I'd be like what if I walk in, and listen, nothing ever happened, but I'd always think like, what if I walk in and he's like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? Like, who the fuck's coming? Like,
Shoot you.
like they wake up and here I am, trash, stumbling up the fucking stairs or something, and bam, and nothing ever happened at all. But I would like it was in my mind, and so that and I guess that's where I come to the thing of like me really always wanting like I'd want to understand what's going on, and now. I mean, fuck, if I lived by myself and nobody else lived there, you shouldn't be here. You know what I mean? There's no questions to be asked. But understanding, like, you have a wife there, things, you know what I mean? And I imagine, you know, you guys understand that. But I get so fucking understanding the responsibility that comes with it. Like, I don't want to hurt anybody, and much less the wrong person.
Well, and it's tricky too because as we grow up, you watch movies, right? The heroes and the villains got guns. Like everybody's got guns. It's just based on who you are, your responsibility, what you're trying to accomplish. That's what it determines. Because every hero that you ever idolized mowed some people down.
Not Thor.
That hammer's a weapon.
That hammer went.
The hammer's a goddamn weapon.
It's an assault hammer.
It's an assault hammer. It's an AH, whatever number you want to put on the end of it.
ARH.
Yeah, but heroes
Man has
and
electricity, my friend.
heroes and criminals had weapons,
Yeah.
and I think that's why like I don't think even people who are not like pro gun, I think they even understand there's a reason why you would have one. Like if you're not pro gun. And we all know people who maybe their wife's not pro-gun, but the husband is, and the wife may feel safe, right?
Well,
so you can't necessarily be one-sided all the time because you're going to be glad you had one, and sometimes you're not going to have one, and you're unfortunately going to be in a situation you can't defend yourself.
And to that point, just specifically what you're saying, my wife is not a she doesn't care for guns, but that day was like. I'm so glad you had the gun.
Well, and so I dated a chick once.
I won't make the joke now. Goodbye.
Oh, go for it. Oh no,
it's vulgar. But go ahead.
I dated a chick once, and this is in my height of like, I really wanted to get a gun. Like my dad and I'd go on my dad's shooting and stuff, and I was like, I'm just gonna get a gun. And she was like so like, I mean, adamant, like no, fuck no, you know, like I absolutely will not. I don't want to be anywhere near you then. And I mean, at the time that was enough, and I was kind of like, oh well, maybe. I never thought like it was a bad thing. I just thought I can understand the fear some people have. And everyone's lived a different life, right? Like everyone has, and everyone's affected in different manners from different things. And so understanding that, I get that, right? Like if it's not for you, then don't get one. You shouldn't. You know what I mean? Like if you're already against them, then why would you have one, right? Fine. You're willing to take that? Go ahead. But also, I think we gotta let people live and what is it? How's the saying go? Like
Live and let be.
Live and let be. Yeah, you know, like that kind of vibe, right? Like, okay, fuck it. You don't want one? Well, I do. Just because you don't want one doesn't mean that I can't have one. Because to the point that we just made, a hammer's a fucking weapon, a shovel, any fucking thing around,
glass,
a knife, a machete, anything that you want. In the countries that don't, I would ask, what are the statistics for them being murdered with other things?
Yeah,
then, right?
I don't remember the specifics, but there is like a high volume of like knife related violent incidents in countries that don't have guns. It's like whether they're guns or not, like people are gonna carry out their ill intentions.
Yeah.
Yes, and there it is.
I saw a video of a guy that was going around and he was like he would give out free meals to people that would trade in their machetes. And I thought like, well, where the fuck are you living? Where it's like, hey, give me your machete, right? Like that seemed insane.
Machete for a meal.
Yeah, you know, and then you look and it was a place that didn't have guns, and then these fucking little gangster dudes are just carrying around machetes. And I'm not gonna lie to you, I'd way rather you shoot me and kill me like that than with a fucking machete. Like
chop you up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That just seems fucking insane. You know what I mean? So
watch the platform.
You
get chopped up with a samurai plus,
dude. Don't get the regular samurai. You get the plus, son.
The plus.
Right.
Self sharpening.
Yeah.
Unlike this thing.
Yeah, like mine. It's dull as shit. I can't cut tape.
Trying to slice butter.
Yeah. So all pro gun. Now,
pro responsibility.
Let me ask you this. Okay, so I don't know how much you guys know. Travis, I imagine this will be. I don't know where you guys are at with it, but I'm interested in seeing. What kind of gun do you find to be your your favorite gun? I guess like I don't want to say ideal because ideal lends itself to like what makes the most sense, right? Fuck that. All's out. Just you can have one gun, but one gun only. What gun do you pick?
I'll start to get it out of the way. Growing up, I wanted to be, like I told you guys before, I wanted to be a military tactical person. I wanted to be a sniper from a young age all the way up through high school. Didn't follow through with the military because I couldn't really get behind the whole thing. But for me, sniper rifle would be my choice.
You don't know a particular.
No, I don't know like particular models, but for me, if I had to pick one,
So you like that real impersonable. Just because when I play Call of Duty, I can't stand them snipers. Dude.
Yeah, no, but you've seen Shooter.
I have.
Okay, and you've seen Saving Private Ryan.
Yeah.
And you've heard the stories of them just fucking clearing fucking fields of, and I don't want to sound like that, right? But what I will say is that I like the idea of hitting a target from a long distance.
It's a lot of
Challenge.
skill.
The disciplines, challenge,
Yeah.
skill, everything that goes into that kind of shot, that's impressive.
No,
to
I
me.
agree with you.
So
it is.
for me, growing up, I was very infatuated with the idea of being a sniper. So,
Yep.
I haven't shot a variety. I mean, I've shot my Glock. I've shot an AR, shotgun. So I think from what I've shot, I like the feel of the AR. It's there's not too much kick. It's smooth.
ARs are
Yeah.
awesome.
No.
Yeah, ARs are awesome.
the A in AR actually this does stand for awesome. Just so you guys know.
I thought so too.
Awesome rifle.
So for me, I guess like my favorite would mean like the reason why I would carry it, right? So for me, the reason
No, hold on. I just want to make this clear to you.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be anything practical or real world. It
Right.
could just be whatever the fuck you want.
Right. Okay. No, and I get it, but for me, like that, it's still the reason why it would be my favorite, or the reason why I would want it, is for the reason I would carry it. Right. Like it would be awesome to really cool to have a sniper rifle, but I don't see myself using it all that often
Yeah,
and stuff.
probably
You know.
never.
So for me, it would be something that I can carry on my person and use for protection. And I have a Glock that I use for that reason. But if like money was no object, I think I would want like a 1911 style pistol, just because that classic look, and 45 God's round, like that's what I
yeah.
want. So something like that.
I was gonna say that guitar case from Desperado.
I'd get the rocket launcher.
But I will say 45 is my ideal handgun.
Mhm.
I'll
So,
just say that. But yeah, go
I
ahead.
will tell you this. Okay. The first time I ever shot a Colt 1911, I was like, this is it. Like, this is it. It was one with the spur hammer.
Mm.
And then, I mean, it was just eating my skin up as I was shooting. I mean, blood's running down my hand. I'm just I'm like, I don't care, And I was holding it too high. It has a safety on the handle, so you gotta fucking
Squeeze
grab
it,
it. Yeah. Anyway, I hated the one with the spur hammer. Like, I hated that one. But I was able to shoot another one that didn't have that, and I was like, by far, it's very smooth when you shoot it. It's just it's a good gun to shoot. And then I heard of a Glock 20, 10 millimeter, and I was like, dude, they're like, hey, people that go hiking and fucking live in like Wisconsin in the woods, they carry this because if a bear comes up, you could put a bear down, And I'm like, I like that. I like the idea of having a handgun that I can shut it down with, but it's not too crazy. Where I'm like, what are those big ass fucking like a Desert Eagle, and I'm like, it's just insanely shooting around.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, it'd be a Glock 20, and that was, but it's 10 millimeter. In today's climate, you can't buy ammo. Like, you're never gonna find 10 millimeters. So you mentioned God's ammo. It's like, yeah, get that or a 9, something that you can purchase.
My third choice is that gun the Joker shot down with the Michael Keaton Batman. That big ass
the
fucking
big long,
revolver.
super long barrel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just- and he shot down the fucking the bag glider or whatever.
It's
it
so
was.
funny. Like as kids, you think like that's how it would work. Like, it's a huge barrel. It'll do it.
Yeah.
No, it's not how it works at all. But I will say too, man, I've shot AKs and I actually like them. And the thing about AKs is they're super reliable.
Yeah.
Super like, throw it in dirt, pick it up and shoot it.
Mhm.
Get it wet, it's fine.
Yeah.
We're talking about all these other guns. Nah, dude, that thing's dirty in there. Not gonna be able to go. Put it underwater. You gotta dry it out. You know what I mean? So in that world, especially when we're talking home defense and just ready to go, and people that don't constantly use them or take them out and clean them, you get like an AK, man. You're kind of in the game. You ain't gotta really worry about
Get
anything.
an AK for home defense.
I mean, now you were worried about shooting
with
through
the
people.
magnet clip that you know.
Yeah, the banana clip. Not in California. You can get one that looks like it, but it's blocked off. You go, oh no, didn't they change that? They changed it lately, no?
No, they had an appeal for a short while, and you could get like higher capacity magazines, and then they kind of reversed it. So it's a gray area, and I some people I know may or may not have bought some bigger, higher capacity magazines. So
Yeah, because California does have a law that you can't have more than 10 in a magazine. And so you can buy, like, if you have an AK or an AR-15 or a Glock, for example. You know what I mean? You see those rappers with the big fucking thing sticking out?
I hate that shit.
Yeah.
me too.
It's totally impractical, right? Who would ever get one?
Right. It's so stupid. It probably weighs a lot.
Yeah. You definitely couldn't put it in your pocket.
Just
you know
lays
what I
on the
mean?
dresser.
It's just sitting there. Point that I'm making, though, is California now, man, they when you buy one, especially if you go to, like, ranges and stuff, you have to have it blocked off. And if you don't, that's like a felony. So if you have it, leave it at home. Don't take it to the range. That's what I'm saying.
I'm sure that.
And
If anyone asks, you bought it during Freedom Week. That's it.
yeah, well, Freedom Week was a free week.
Under the Freedom Act.
Yeah. So they're listening to the call when I called it in. You know what I mean?
In a free country. Like, just keep compounding your
freedom.
Free.
Yes.
Everything was free, dude.
That's right.
Yeah.
I got a free hot dog when I was there.
Freedom boner
Oh,
right
nice. Same hot dog. But I think that's a good place to wrap this one up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
So let us know. You guys pro-gun, anti-gun, and what are your reasons? I don't think anyone's gonna say shit, but fuck you guys. They're gonna tell me to call Travis Smoking Hot Travis. So don't think I didn't see your comment. Oh, I have. I chose to ignore it.
now. Shout out Mark. My boy
No.
Mark.
I liked it. It was funny. It literally made me laugh very hard today. I was like, all right.
I don't like the fact that someone is saying that I'm hot made you laugh.
Very hard.
You,
Very hard.
very hard.
Extra hard.
mhm.
If you want to follow Ken on PS4, extra hard.
94.
No, it's just extra hard on PlayStation.
Okay, got it.
Aching for clay.
I used to have Snapchat and it was extra hard 94 on Snapchat, but I no longer have one.
Now it's his OnlyFans.
Yeah. And
Shout out
that's-
Jose.
Yeah. Shout out Jose on that one.
Yeah.
Fans.
Anyway,
I'm gonna start one tomorrow, guys. So don't judge me.
can we do one with like Glocks and
It's all
shit?
slow
like
motion shit.
sniper rifle.
Nothing else.
You should do a Menameans calendar.
Yeah.
hmm
You get all nervous right there.
I know. I was like, what?
Oh, you could do all the athleisure wear shoots.
I got this
Yeah.
sick ass farmer tan, dude. So
Mm.
farmers only, baby.
Photoshop.
Yeah.
Photoshop.
Just downloaded it, so I'm in the game.
Make you a little darker if you want.
That's a lifelong quest, Travis. He's working on that.
You know what?
We're gonna end this
I
fucking thing.
I don't condone this. Okay.
That's where we wrap this one up.
Yeah, no, man. Interesting.
It's
I'm
okay.
glad.
I'm not brown enough, so
Well, I guess
he's like, okay, open back up.
Yeah. If we're not done, we're not done. All right, let's fucking keep going. Okay. I'm plenty. I'm dark enough. I'm not the darkest dude in this goddamn room. I'm probably not.
I'd say we're probably about the same.
You know what's funny is I think like in my mind I'm darker than I am. It's like that. I'm like, are you? Because I think I'm darker than you. I'm more tannish.
I don't know.
I'm trying to look
I
at
don't
your-
know.
your ham.
We'll find out.
It looks pretty
We'll
light.
find out how dark you are.
Hey, bro.
Hey,
I'm just saying.
Hey, that's what I was gonna say. We'll find out how dark you are after I see Travis in the summer.
Yeah.
I haven't seen him in the summer yet.
Yeah,
I've seen him in the summer.
I get a little crispy.
Yeah, same here. I'll stop wearing this athleisure wear and get back to the.
No,
Right?
We're gonna go for a run right now.
it's just his farmer tan gets worse.
Yeah.
No, I'm fucking pure middle of the day, noon, high noon. Just fucking wife beater. Get that nice tan going now. Yeah.
I've seen your.
Oh, you know what? I'm sorry. You can't say that on YouTube. The WB shirt is what I.
You really can't say that?
Yeah, they like blur it out, dude.
The white corduroy tank
The
top.
W beater.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
Or the wife B.
Those fucking W's.
The assault tank top.
Yeah, the assault tank top.
Got my new assault shirt this morning. I'm on the aggressive, you know what I mean? Uncanceled. You know, it was
There
fun.
it
It,
is.
was
We're
cool.
all
Thanks for
canceled.
making one more.
Yeah,
You know
we're
what
all
I mean?
canceled.
51.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, man. Yeah, you know what? Fuck it, dude. You know, I want to just say,
Our truth.
Yeah, I know. I was like, whoa, we almost wrapped
I was
up,
literally
dude.
about to close this
shit.
down.
Yeah, same. Right, here's my truth. My truth is, look, people are going to have differences of opinion, and that's a good thing. That's literally what makes us who we are, right? Like, if we all thought the same and did everything the same, what a boring world would that be? I wouldn't want to be a part of that. I mean, I guess I would if I was born into that and that's all you knew. You know, you didn't know any different.
You'd be
But
level 1 on the platform.
yeah, we all would. And so we'd all die probably, right? I think it's such a beautiful thing. Like we talked about bars and clubs, and all of our answers was, and we've been all very similar tonight, by the way, which is very cool. But one of the reasons that we said we like bars is because you get to talk to people. And what I enjoy about doing that is that I meet different people than me. And I've met people that were totally opposite of what I thought on something, but had a great time talking to them about it and understanding where they're coming from. And then it opened my mind up to understanding different perspectives on things and things that I didn't think about because it's not my world in the same fashion. And so I think instead of always trying to curve somebody into seeing your vision on something or how you look at it, instead listen to what people think and then kind of plug that into what you were thinking and see if you still feel the same. I think, you know, everyone has an agenda and that's great. We all do it individually ourselves even, right? But still, I'd rather have an evolving agenda then and seek to learn to get more from people and let myself grow and understand it on a higher level.
Preach.
I'll go ahead and jump on just because mine kind of echoes the same sentiment. So I was at a coffee shop the other morning and just kind of chilling, and some guy rode up on like an electric bicycle, which you don't see all that often, And I was just kind of like, oh, that's pretty cool. And he parked in front of the coffee shop. I was on my motorcycle, and he kind of parked and was like taking a picture. And so I just kind of I just was friendly. I was like, oh, cool. Like, hey, are you on Instagram? And he was like, yeah, I am. And he's like, I'm actually doing this tour of Southern California on this electric bicycle. He's like, I started in Corona. I rode all the way to LA, Beverly Hills, and now I'm making my way back through, all these other cities. He's like, and I'm stopping at certain places and just kind of taking pictures and taking videos of my journey. And I thought it was so cool that he was on this journey. And if I hadn't just said something to him, I never would have learned anything about him. Like I would have just saw some guy on an electric bicycle. But I just kind of reached out and initiated the conversation, and it opened up a conversation that I learned from, and I learned about this guy and his journey and what he's doing for fun. And because of that, I feel like my life was enriched in a way. So my point is, and my truth is like, as the world starts to open up after this pandemic and you're out in public, don't be afraid of people, don't be afraid to kind of initiate the conversation and learn from each other. Because at the end of the day, that's what it's all about. We're all still people. I get that this thing has been scary, and we've been kind of conditioned to keep our distance, but at the same time, it doesn't mean that you can't connect. So that's my truth.
It's a good truth. It's a lot of pressure on me. As you guys know, I suck at the truth.
Welcome back.
You've had like 5 months to think of one.
I don't even think he thinks about the word truth until we're like, hey, what's your truth?
Yeah.
I completely forgot we did this.
He's just listening to us. Oh shit, me too.
So this week, skip me, please. I have nothing today.
No,
what? I don't have a truth. I
No,
don't.
dude, no bullshit.
I don't have a
You
truth.
have a truth.
I
I threw a pin last episode. I'll throw a pin.
Yeah, we
right
all
now.
threw some shit. Have a truth. Come on.
Don't.
Okay, I'll go.
Okay, yeah.
You
James
can
will
go.
I'll go.
You're in the hot seat, brother.
Yeah,
I don't have a truth.
You're on deck.
You're on
Oh,
deck.
man.
You're on deck. For me, my truth is going to be it's going to be similar to how we approach situations in life. And I will just say, just taking my mom for instance, she chose a certain thing in her life when it came to her family, how she approached her family, and how to avoid. And I learned a lot how to avoid negativity through my mom. She chooses how she wants to live her life. And I do the same thing. So she's done that. And I will say that now that she's gone through some messy, Her parents have now passed, and there's some messy finances that are going through the, and it's cliche. You hear about it all the time. And I told her recently, like, just don't play by other people's rules. Play by your mentality. Don't play those same games. Just stick to what you've been doing. Throughout this whole time, and that's all you want to focus on. You don't want to start playing different things. Just be true to who you are. And I'm kind of sugarcoating it a little bit, but the main message is just going to be whatever you choose to do for your life, just make it consistent. You don't have to form and bend for whoever it is. Be who you are, and that's always going to be the thing that guides you day in and day out. You're the only one who has to live with it. And just to buy Anthony a little more time, I will just say this. I cut my hair last week. Okay? Haircut came out cool. But I had a little bit of long hair right here, right? A couple of strands. And I'm like, cool. I'll take my lawnmower 2.0 and I'll just put the clip and I'll just, right? So I did it. No hair came off. Cool. And I'm like, okay. So I lowered the clip and I went, zzz, and the whole side came off. And my daughter, she's 7 years old, so she's heavy into TikTok. She's like, let's make a TikTok. Like, I'm like, get the mascara. Like, let's try to color this shit in. So all week I've been coloring my fucking bald spot in my hair. And I'll just show you guys on the YouTube. Make sure you guys go to YouTube. Right here, there's like a bald little line. And I thought, like, holy shit, like, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
And it's funny because when I was younger, I would care a lot.
Yeah.
And I would now,
it is what it is.
I just wanted to share that. I didn't have to share that with you guys.
Yeah.
But I just wanted you guys to know.
Honestly, I didn't notice it.
Yeah. Well, thank you.
Yeah.
You guys probably aren't paying attention either. But
Yeah, I'm not.
I did comment.
you
that
did comment.
Yeah, that
but
you cut
you
your hair and
commented
you look good.
before I did it.
Oh, I see.
So I will just say I wanted to share that with you guys. So you guys know I did fucking. It's like it reminded me when someone's fucking around with their eyebrow
and they
actually cut it off.
Yeah.
Like, oh
Oops.
fuck.
Yeah.
So he still don't got a goddamn truth.
Before he goes, then.
No. I'm ready.
Oh, now I want to say it.
Okay, go.
Okay, so back in the day, I used to smoke a lot of weed. Like I used to get high all the time.
Yesterday?
Surprise.
Really?
No, I don't smoke at all anymore.
I actually watched the platform.
Oh well,
Not high.
that would have been nice, dude. That would have helped out.
I'm just gonna say I watched it in Spanish.
But so I used to cut my own hair. When I was in the bathroom, I'm about to cut my hair. I'm fucking smoking and put it out. I go to cut my hair and I just start going, and then I look and I say, "Oh shit! I don't have any guard on it, anything." Okay, like I have shaved my whole head, and there's no going back at that point. And I remember going to hang out with my friend, and they opened the door and just start fucking dying. And I looked and I was like, "Nah, dude, I look good like this. I don't give a shit." And that was the day when I realized, like you said, number one, I didn't give a fuck.
It
Number
didn't
two,
matter.
I'll go bald tomorrow and not
Yeah.
care, dude. Don't give a fuck.
The only thing I thought is like, I wish I could like fade it. I wish I knew how to fade.
Blend it in.
Because I could probably like switch up my style a little bit.
Yeah.
But no, other than that.
God dang it. You can come back to me again?
Yeah, we're always coming back.
So basically, I guess my truth is a little
Wait,
bit.
can I ask you, give me your truth here. I'll ask you a question. You give me the true answer. Why is your truth so hard for you?
I don't know.
You feel like there's pressure to come up with something
There's
profound?
pressure, yeah.
You literally don't think about it, huh?
I don't think about it.
Mm.
I'm gonna start thinking about it. That's my truth. I'm gonna start thinking about my truth.
That's more of a promise.
Yeah, that's not a truth.
Okay, let's see.
Okay. We'll if we can ever throw you a bone, here's Erica. Give me something. You always use Erica as your truth.
I do, because that's the only thing that I got. I just don't got anything today.
Look, I'm trying to like help him out, like think of something. Like I don't know.
Hey,
How the
give
fuck
me a
would I
break.
know?
It's my first time back.
Yeah.
It's episode 51.
Again,
Anthony.
I haven't been here for the last 20.
Yeah. All right. Well, you know
I'll
what?
come with the truth next week.
Listen. All right.
All right, make sure you guys are going to check out the Instagram. Make sure you guys are checking out the YouTube. If you don't hit subscribe, then just stop listening. Like if you're not hitting subscribe,
don't stop. No, I don't like that.
Stop.
Just turn it on, let it run.
And then
Yeah.
TikTok.
No.
It'll run still. We'll take the
Look,
view.
if you don't want it all, you don't want none of it. Just like Anthony's truth. If he wants a half-ass truth, we don't really
Hey,
want it.
what would you say earlier? Get with it or
Get
out?
with it or
Get out.
Get out. Well, I said get Either forget it or I don't fucking know. What I said.
Live and let be. I don't know.
When in Rome.
No, but what I will say is, I will say this: our numbers are doing pretty well. So I do want to thank you guys out there for support.
For sure.
But make sure you guys are also following on YouTube. Like I can't stress that enough. Make sure you guys are liking, engaging, doing everything you guys got to do. I'm happy with where we are.
Yeah.
So I just want you guys to make sure you guys are following on the TikTok. Make sure you guys are following YouTube, Instagram. It's good to have Anthony back. So thank you for
Absolutely.
being here.
Mm-hmm.
It's good to have you here. Thank you for the cigar earlier. Travis, it's awesome having you here. Ken, thank you for the fucking whiskey.
Yeah.
Thank you for that gold soundbite
Whiskey
we got.
daddy.
I was gonna say,
I'm gonna make a new intro with that.
Thank me for my laughs.
Mm.
God damn it. Right. Yeah, you know, again, be you. You know what I mean? If you guys don't like us, fuck you. Get off the page. But subscribe first.
and put life back into your life. All right.
Mm-hmm.
All right, keep the worms warm.
Keep the worms warm.
There was one more. I don't remember it. Fuck you, pay me. You know what I mean? There you go. Hey man, I'm hungry, dude. Let's go to In-N-Out.
All right. So on that note.
Okay, bye.